Hi, we're live. I decided to come on a little bit early since Diane has a lot to talk about. Let's see, how do I send a link? I'm going to turn y'all around. Invite. Copy. And oops. Okay, I'm back. I hope you can see me. My hair's a mess. See, I get confused on what side of my head is which. No, this way. There you go. 'Cause you're seeing everything in reverse when you look in this thing. Oh well. And we're having like really humid weather, so this side of my hair decided not to take a curl today. And this side of my hair had to keep all its curl today. So I hope I see when Diane comes on. I sent the link to the text through text. Hi, Susan. Hi, Moonchild. Moonchild pink. Okay. Diane, if you're on here trying to get on, let me know so I can figure this thing out. Oh, here where it says guests. Invite guests. Copy. And I'll be right back again. Go see if I can send her a link. All right, I'm back. Happy Sunday, everybody. Trying to figure out my stuff over here so my iPad doesn't fall over, and I'm not looking at the wrong camera, the wrong section, because it's hard for me to, I don't know, like, do you think I'm looking at you if I'm looking straight at me? Or do you think I'm looking at you if I'm looking up at the camera? I don't know. Diane, where are you? Oh, there you are. At
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm on my phone. My laptop won't charge for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I got a big crack in my iPad, so I guess
I know.
that
I was charging my iPad to try maybe do it with that, but because I can't see the I can't. Let me see chat. Oops. Nope.
you're on.
I am.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here?
Me, and there's Susan Scott and Moonchild. And Moonchild said, hey, Daniel, but I don't see Daniel.
Oh.
I don't know where you went.
Am I here now?
Oh, no, she says, hi, Diane.
Oh,
Sorry.
hi.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can look at the chat on the iPad and follow it.
Yeah, you can go on I usually go on YouTube on my phone, so I can keep track of also the you know what I mean? You know that.
Here it is.
You know
Oh,
what I mean? You
how do
know
I
the.
turn the sound off on this thing? No. Oh, there we go.
Just
Okay.
turn the volume down on your other device.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Because then it'll come. It
Mm-hmm.
it'll will have an echo effect.
Should have put a
I
stand.
know Diane's hair is
I know
longer than mine.
my hair got really. I need a haircut.
I
I've
decided to keep mine long.
been toying with the idea of cutting it.
Oh, now you want up here again? Come on. You want to say hi to the people? You want to say hi to your fans? Come on.
Oh, thanks, Moonchild.
I can't
I don't
go.
even know what to do with it
Go
anymore.
back.
It's like at what age? At what age should you not have long hair anymore?
I say you can have long hair as long as you want.
That's what a lot of people are telling me. So I guess I'll keep.
Somebody
No,
decided they needed to make money, and they weren't getting enough customers, so they told everybody, "Old people need to get a haircut
short
short,
haircut.
like a boy or a man." Man's haircut is like,
Yep.
and all these old ladies and old men, they all look alike.
Well, I mean, I get it because it. Well, I was going to say short hair is easier, but not really. I mean, if you have long hair, you can just pull it back, put it up, and that's what I do 98% of the time
Uh huh. Me
because then
too.
I don't know what else to do with it. So that's all I do with it.
Yeah, I just like grab it and put it in a ponytail or a
Mhm.
clip or something.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Me too.
Unless I come on here, and of course, I have to show my beautiful locks of hair. I'm
Keep it
just kidding.
long.
Yeah. Well, it's
Wow. So you
it
have a
would be.
lot of hair. I don't have a lot of hair.
I used to have a lot more, especially up here at the top. I'm looking at old pictures of myself, and it's like, my God, I had a lot of hair.
My
Really thick.
hair is
Not
fine.
thick. My hair is fine, but there's a lot of it. What? And yeah, my hair is fine, but I have a lot of it. And up here is where it's been thinning out the most.
Well, I pull my hair back so much that I have so much breakage around my face. But
Yeah,
hangs in my face if I don't pull it back. So,
yeah. Same here. Same here.
well, in
Yeah.
the summertime, Moonchild, I never wear it down because it feels like a scarf wrapped around my neck. I can't stand it. I wear it up all the time in the summer.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm not watching the game because I thought that the background would be too noisy.
I'm
And
well,
I really don't. I have no skin in this game at all. I'd like to see the 49ers win just because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs everywhere. And I mean, they're good. They have a really good team. Mahomes is a great quarterback, but I'm just I'm over them. I'm sick of it.
mm-hmm.
Bring in.
Yeah. I don't know anything about football. I don't watch it. So whatever you say, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Moonchild, I think I lost hair also. I'm trying to think how long ago it was. There was a period of time where I started to panic in the shower. It was coming out in handfuls, like and I I went back to the doctor and I said, what what's happening here? And she checked the hormone levels, and it was, I guess, just the drastic drop in estrogen. Oh my God. I literally thought I was going bald.
Mm-hmm.
So much was falling out.
Yeah, me too. That's how mine was too. When I lived in the last town I lived in, I'd take a bath and it would just like be hanging from my fingers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I panicked for a while. And then, everybody's saying, oh, stress can cause that, which I had a lot of stress because I was moving at the time, getting ready to move.
Thyroid disease can cause hair loss.
I have thyroid disease,
Hmm.
and I had started on Ozempic at that time too. And then I'm low on B12 and D vitamin.
I think the whole world is low on vitamin D.
Yeah.
And I really don't know why that is. I know, we spend a lot more time indoors,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. Is it the combination of being so sedentary and slopping sunscreen all over the place? When you
Could
go
be.
outside, they've kind of like, made the sun evil. And
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. That could be. Very well could be. The weight loss medicine was called Ozempic. It's an injection you get every week that you give yourself every week. Now I'm on Mounjaro. Oh wait, I can hear. Oh.
why did they change it? Because there's a back stock or back order on Ozempic, a short supply.
Yeah, I think. Well, it was at the time
Yeah.
when uh, you know, was running out of Ozempic and nobody had it. And the pharmacist said they didn't know when they were going to get it.
Right.
So when I went to
That's
see
my
my doctor for the last time in Austin, I told her to switch me to Mounjaro. And so she did.
Moonchild. I actually heard that for some reason COVID hits diabetics and people with low vitamin D worse. I remember reading that someplace. I don't know from where.
Hmm.
But
Oh. Yes, I do need to lose weight. I'm still losing weight. Um, I'm not going for a ridiculous amount like, back when I was a teenager or anything like that. Ginger, that's enough.
do
Come on.
you have to take that for the rest of your life to maintain the weight loss?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask what happens after you lose the weight. Do they put you on a maintenance? I know
Oh,
my
yeah,
sister
I
said,
don't really know.
a friend of hers, her doctor put her on that nicotine, that drinking drug that Kevin was taking for
Oh,
alcoholism. It starts with
uh,
an N, I think.
shit, I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of it.
Hmm. So anyway, that put her on that, and I asked her next time she talks to her to let me know how she's doing on that.
I watch him too, Moonchild.
Watch Dr. Kim
Um,
from UK. Oh
mhm.
yeah, I've seen him a couple of times. Isn't he
um,
kind of controversial? Hey,
Yeah.
Ruby's Roo.
It's
How?
actually, it's not an abuse. It's a newer one. I I can, the only thing that's coming to my, you said it starts with an N. I can just think of Neurontin. It's not Neurontin. That's gabapentin.
No, it's
Um, I can't think of it, but
me either.
it's a, what blocker?
I don't know.
I can't think of the name of it.
Ruby's Roo. I'm glad you're here.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't
Moonchild,
seen you in a while.
as someone that's in healthcare, if you didn't go along with the um, mainstream, or if you didn't fall into line, and if you questioned anything, it was almost like you got not blacklisted, but um, like how could you question a vaccine? How could you? And questioning anything that has not gone through the testing process, I you know I don't think that artificially fucking around with your immune system is a good thing to do. I'm not in favor of all these vaccines for, like, for example, chicken pox. Chicken pox is a normal childhood illness.
Hi, Flower Power.
Parents used to, when one kid in the neighborhood got chicken pox, all the other parents used to put all the kids together so they all got chicken pox.
Yeah.
It's the, I guess, risk is when you get older, you have a higher risk of getting shingles. But I think if you get the vaccine, you still have a risk of getting shingles, don't you?
Yeah,
I
because
don't,
everyone's gotten the vaccine, and everyone's
I
getting
don't really
well.
even know.
No, I don't think it prevents you from getting shingles. That's why they,
And
they promote the shingles shot.
right.
And I've had that. I do take my vaccines because better safe than sorry.
Well, I had the flu vaccine once when it first came out in the 90s. I ended up having a anaphylactic reaction and I ended up in the hospital from it.
Hmm.
So I have not had one since, and I haven't had the
Hmm.
flu since.
Hmm.
My mother had the flu. I'm trying to think back. What year was it? It was before she started getting dementia. So I'm going to say 7 years ago, 8 years ago. On Christmas Day, she came down with the flu. And man, was
Hmm.
she sick. 2.5 weeks. She was as sick as a dog.
Flu is
I
really.
never got it. I mean, like,
I've had
explain that.
flu.
I never got it.
I've had the flu several times, and I got the swine flu.
Oh,
Let me tell you, I was sick for a month with the swine
wow.
flu. A month. I was pale, like gray, like your shirt, and these just dark circles around my eyes, like Glenda's. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it was where I looked death warmed over.
Well, my mother was sick as hell for about 2.5 weeks. And then it took her another 2.5 weeks to recover from the 2.5 weeks she was sick. And I mean,
Hmm.
I was in close proximity to her
Hmm.
and I never got sick.
Hmm.
So there's something to be said for natural immune systems. And
Interesting.
when I saw the lineup of shots that kids have to go to college now, I
Hmm.
almost fell on the floor. They have to have vaccines for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And then my neighbor told me that they give newborns hepatitis B vaccines. I said, what? Why would you give a newborn a hepatitis B vaccine if the, I would say the mother or, the parents, unless one of them had hepatitis, um, I, like, I just don't, you give a child that has absolutely no protection, no immune system, and you're giving
Mm-hmm.
giving them a hepatitis B vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. You kind of have to look at like your risk factors. I mean, if you don't have risk factors to get hepatitis B, then you don't need the vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'll
Um,
do a couple of impersonations, if you don't mind me breaking in.
you're doing impersonations?
Yes,
Okay.
two. Two impersonations.
Okay.
Hello, guys and butterflies. Who am I?
Oh, I forgot her name.
She is forgettable. Um, Lele. And now I'm going to do. Oh, I forgot to put on my lipstick. Oh, look, the color is so pretty. It's so pretty. You see the color? Oh my gosh, I wonder what it's going to look like on. Oh, oh, look. It's so smooth and creamy. It reminds me of how Zeus looked when we had phone sex. Mm. And look how red it is.
Somebody is here bothering me.
Oh,
So
oh, like my ginger was bothering me. Yeah.
can you see her? There she is.
Yes. Hi.
She's the not the bane of my existence, but God, is she a pain in the ass?
Mm-hmm.
Still a big giant pain in the ass. Yeah, you are. You're cute though. You are cute.
I
Yeah,
know.
I gave them their goodies. Moonchild, yeah, my mom is okay. She oh shit, I was supposed to call there today. I totally forgot. Oh well. She developed a slow heart rate, so they're sending her to a cardiologist on Tuesday.
Eeks.
Um, they're I guess going to try to keep her alive till she's 150.
Ugh.
So the dementia is progressing. She doesn't know who I am. It's pretty much impossible to have any sort of conversation with her. And it's where she is, they do a great job. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
ask for anything more. Their communication is great. The place is great. Um, it just it's just sad. Whoever figures out what Alzheimer's and dementia are,
Mm-hmm.
um, because there's no, if you try to figure it out with your rational mind, you just can't. It seems like my mother is going further and further and further back in her life. Like now she's talking about cousins that I don't even know. Um, I guess, cousins maybe from Poland, or I don't know. Like before, I knew who she was talking about, so I could kind of guide the conversation. I can't now because I really don't know who she's talking about or talking to, or thanks, Ruby. Um, yeah, she doesn't really make too much sense either. Um, so yeah, I don't know. All I know is I'm having a problem with these Apple products charging. Like, why isn't this charging now?
It could be your cord because the cords get bad really fast.
No, it's not the cord. It's not. It's that it's not plugged in.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
And here you were gonna just start bashing Apple and their
Well,
product.
I bashed Apple from my laptop. I don't. That's the weird thing. I don't know
Oh, the
why that's
laptop.
not charging.
Yeah.
So I I googled it before. Why didn't MacBook not charge? I didn't really get that far. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ruby.
Oh, sorry, Ruby.
I don't really care.
But I think I
Yeah.
have a connection with Alzheimer's, with artificial
Artificial what?
sugars, artificial sugars. Many, starting like in the 60s and 70s, they started pushing that.
Saccharin.
The what?
Saccharin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law, that's all she ever used was that. She had no sugar in her house, none. And and she had Alzheimer's. And then my brother-in-law's mother also, she was a diabetic, so she cut out everything sugar. She used that powder for everything,
Mm.
and she had Alzheimer's. And I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if, and I've talked to nurses before, and they said the same thing.
Well,
That
I've heard that saccharin and aspartame
yes, aspartame.
are linked to MS. That
Ooh.
I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
and there's research I think that supports that there's a link. My neighbor actually has MS, and
Mm-hmm.
she was a heavy tab drinker when she was
Yeah.
young.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
well, Moonchild, she may as well use every last penny, because in order for her to go into a facility, she would have to pay for it there before Medicaid picks up, because you can't have anything to get on Medicaid, and long-term Medicaid, I mean.
Yeah.
Because I went through that whole entire thing. That was, yeah.
You have
So
to. Everything has to be in another person's name for 2 years. I think if it's still the same.
5. There's a 5
Five.
year there's a 5 year look back
5 years.
period, and they're trying to kick it up to 7 years.
Oh God.
Which, it's really, well, I'm not going to get into the political stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, my parents worked and they were savers, and it just makes me sick
Mm-hmm.
how you literally have to be destitute to get any help.
Mm-hmm. And there were two things that made it that way. One was the trickle down economics that was really a trickle up, and um, switching people from pension plans to 401ks. Where a friend of mine lost everything. She had earned everything.
Hmm.
She lost it all.
Yep.
And then she got um, Parkinson's.
Jesus.
I know.
Yeah, it's there is no rhyme or reason to what happens in this life, that's for sure. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Moonchild, I I think a lot about the various things that are making us as a society. Hi, just me. Um, and you know, my mother's 95 years old. If my mother was 65, that it would be tragic. But the children get dementia.
Yeah.
So what is it that triggers, or what is it inside a human body that messes up your brain function so badly?
The mother, I mean, they could do studies and see if the mother was doing artificial sugars because she may have had the pregnancy diabetes, or she might have been a diabetic, or she was just brought up using artificial sugars that's all she knows. Um, it could they could get it from the mother that way because they are developing and whatever
But
she
like
eats, they eat.
my mother didn't use artificial sugar. She used just regular Domino's sugar
Uh-huh.
her entire life. She never, there was one time where I think I bought that, is it
Splenda.
stevia?
Oh yeah.
It's called stevia. And she and I both got sick on it. We did
Hmm.
not feel good. I was getting terrible headaches, and she had stomach issues from it. And she said, I think it's from that stuff you're using for sugar. I'm like, what? And sure enough, she was right. Stop using it and everything went away.
Wow.
So,
I just me.
hi, Flower Power.
Hi, Linda F. Sorry I didn't see you there.
Isn't it a determination of brain? Flower Power.
But what's causing that
The research
period?
studies that had been done seem to point to this substance called beta amyloid, and it forms plaques in the brain, in the blood vessels. However, years and years and years and years and years of research got nullified because they found out that it it wasn't valid for whatever reason. I don't remember the exact reason. So they're kind of like back to the beginning of Flower Power. I know with my mother's MRI, it said that her brain got smaller, shrank. And I'm trying to think, particularly, it was the frontal lobe, I think, that they said shrank, shrunk, shrank. Yeah, Catherine. And all these, all these things, like if you look, if you read the ingredients on pretty much everything, you're going to find some kind of GMO in it. There's corn syrup in almost everything across the board, almost everything. And then even if you try to stay away from like the center of the store where all the crackers and cookies and stuff, packaged stuff is, and stay around the perimeter, like they tell you, where the vegetables and the fresh stuff is. You can't even do right there because of all the pesticides and all of these, GMO vegetables. And organic doesn't mean anything, apparently. So unless you grow your own food from seeds that you source yourself, you don't know where your food's coming from or what's in it. And that's the truth. So and like, you have to eat.
Hmm.
So what do you do?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Flower Power. But yeah, it's very common. Everybody's concerned. I think that's their number one concern of their parents having
Hmm.
Alzheimer's.
Yep. Yeah. Sugar eats the soles off boots. Great. I try not to add sugar. Well, shouldn't say that either, because then my coffee in the morning, I put that sweet Italian creamer. I'm sure that stuff it's probably all chemicals and artificial sugar, and but that's pretty much the only real added sugar I put in. Um, I've actually been eating much better,
Hmm.
trying to anyway.
Yeah, me too. I had those little red potatoes and green beans for dinner tonight. That's my dinner: potatoes and green beans. Potatoes are actually really good for you.
Hmm.
And I know everybody says, "Oh, you eat potatoes? Oh my gosh, that's the worst thing you can do." No, it's actually very good for you. They
Well,
grow in the ground.
comparatively, I mean, if potatoes are healthier than pasta or
Yes.
or bread,
Mm-hmm.
they're better than that. So, if you're going to compare potatoes to broccoli, I mean, okay, broccoli's better, but
I
I
had
don't
that yesterday.
I don't think potatoes are necessarily bad for you.
Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, why are you eating potatoes?"
Moonchild, I gained a whole bunch of weight between January of 2021 and like January of 2022, maybe like a little further now, maybe like March or April of 2022. I was stressed out to the max, and I think I was like in full blown menopause because I was eating like shit. I had no energy. I felt like crap. Um, and like in April of last year, I also with my mother. I mean, I was really depressed. There was just a lot of shit going on. Um, and last April, it was like the lights went on and I was human again. So I lost the weight, but I also found out I've had some health things going on recently. Um, I actually tested positive for Lyme disease. So tomorrow I have to go to the primary and we have to figure out what's going with that because I developed an eye condition called uveitis. And silly me, I thought it was cataracts. It was super. It was like I was looking through San Francisco fog all
Hmm.
the time, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have my cataracts taken care of. Great, I won't have to wear glasses anymore. So I went to the ophthalmologist, and he was like, no, you have
Hi, Catherine.
uveitis. So it's an inflammatory disorder. So he ran all these tests on me for autoimmune markers, and a couple of those came back elevated. So I have to bring all this back to my primary and try to figure out what to do with all the information, like for further testing.
Hmm.
Actually, I got a call from Suffolk County about the Lyme disease. I was really kind of surprised. Um, I didn't know that it was reportable but Suffolk County called me and she said that she would recommend a retest. So that's what I'll tell the primary tomorrow to retest me. See, I don't recall being bit by a tick, but I did lose quite a bit of weight in the fall, and I wasn't really trying, but I thought it was because I was more active. And I also was having almost like morning sickness every day, to where I would get up, um, and I thought it was like stomach acid type issues. And I think this is all associated with the Lyme.
Mm-hmm.
So I must have gotten bit by a tick sometime in the late summer, early fall period of time. Um, and yeah, a lot to figure out with Lyme disease. I guess from a tick. See, the only ticks that I have really, my mother had a Lone Star tick on her several years ago, and any of the ticks that I have found that were from the dogs were Lone Star ticks.
Oh God.
So, but I did go for some hikes, like in county parks, and I was careful and everything, but those deer ticks are so small that all I would have to do is get one on my back or in somewhere that I didn't
Yeah.
know, and I would miss it. So, but like my eyes, it was the weirdest thing. It was almost like remember snow on the old tube televisions?
Yes.
That's what I felt like I was looking through. And but my intraocular pressure was really, really high. That's why the ophthalmologist was really worried. They were so inflamed. So I know there are tests, certain titers and certain different tests for Lyme disease that can tell how long you've had it,
Mm-hmm.
because I can actually go back and to the hikes that I took. Um, but I really did check myself over really well when I came back in, and I didn't find anything. But in my head, I wouldn't see it if it was in my head, in my hair.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the anti-inflammatory diet it's very, very strict. Um, that's a rough one to follow on a long-term basis.
Which one?
The anti-inflammatory diet,
Oh, okay.
it's a very, very limited diet. It
Wow.
works. It works, but it's very, very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And everything has to be certified organic. And yeah, it's
Wow.
not an easy diet to follow.
Wow.
I mean, I guess if the inflammation is bad enough, you'll do anything. But it is a hard diet to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
it
what
is.
else? I wrote down things. Oh, guess what happened? A Sephora opened up in my town. I'm so happy.
Whoa! Yay!
Yay! I rode by I just happened to be going to the grocery store, and I drove by. I knew that they were going to open there, and they were open when I drove by. So
Mm-hmm.
I took a walk in for my inaugural visit. It's so fun in there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what else?
I like my makeup shopping online.
Yeah, I
I don't like to go in stores anymore.
well, I don't mind it,
Yeah.
just to get out and do something. I mean, I don't need anything, but
Yeah.
just to get out and do something and have some fun.
Yeah. And Sephora is always fun.
Sephora is always fun. But you know what is really, I mean, I'm 56 years old, so I'm old. Everybody to me looks like a teenager.
Hmm.
Does that happen to everybody? There was a girl that was working in Sephora that I was talking to, and I swear to God, I thought she was in high school. I
Uh-huh.
thought this girl was in high school. And she said something about when I graduated, and I'm thinking she graduated. No, she graduated from college. She was
Oh my
26.
gosh.
She was 26 years old.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, I'm thinking she's like 17 years old.
Oh.
I don't I've never been one thing I've never been good is estimating people's ages or height.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been good at either, but this is like, and I see, like some cops at, I don't know, if you sometimes if you go to the store, they're outside or whatever, they look like they're in high school.
Yeah.
Good God. So
Yeah,
terrible.
that means we're old.
Uh-huh. Well, on the Grammys, I don't watch the Grammys. I looked down the list at the winners. I only knew a couple of the names. I didn't even know the people. I didn't know who they were. So, oh, thanks, Moonchild. I gonna watch Grammys, but I don't know who I'm watching. So why bother? Why
Yeah.
bother watching the Grammys?
Don't recognize anybody.
No.
They're all
Oh,
stretched out and puffed up. That those fat injections that
yep.
make them look like they have bubbles on their face, bubble up here, bubble down here, and bubble up there, and then big
I'm
swollen lips.
trying to think who I saw recently, and I just thought to myself, oh no, she's not falling into the, like puff it up. And
Mhm.
who was that? A beautiful woman. I can't even remember who it was. And I was like, oh no, please don't be puffing up. And somebody else who I think is falling into the puff it up club is Carrie Underwood, and she does not need that shit.
No.
But she's starting to not look like herself again.
Oh,
Denise,
goodness. Hey,
hi.
Denise. Elsa, I made it.
Elsa. Oh, she's still around, Moonchild. She's not going anywhere.
She's sick again. And that's the one thing I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say is that, Glenda, if you're going to be sick, the one way to prevent from being sick is stop eating so much dairy products. You're probably allergic. You're probably lactose intolerant.
How about not eating so much processed crap?
Well, that too, but like she drinks a glass of
Yeah.
milk a day in the morning when she gets up with her breakfast. Cut that out. If you have to have something, almond milk is a good replacement. Coconut milk, any of those, because dairy products create mucus. And when they go into your system and they're in your stomach and they're digesting, they're creating all this mucus. And your lungs are full of mucus that you're clogging up your own drain pipe with all those, with all that phlegm building up in your body. And, if you continue to eat um, cheese and milk every day while you're sick, you're not helping yourself. I had to give up milk altogether. I can't drink milk. And I haven't even tasted milk in a long time. I can't even remember since when because of that. I learned in a health, um, one of those, hippie, one of those, what did she say?
I
Drinking
think
problem?
she has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's got a drinking problem.
Mm.
But yeah,
Um,
I mean, all that stuff clogs up your drains, and your main drain is through your stomach. And if your congestion from your illness has to drain down your drain pipe. And if that's congested, all you're doing is just pushing that straight up and then getting an infection and all that crap. So just take care of yourself. Don't do things you're not supposed to do when you're sick. Start
I don't understand
a
how
very
she gets
simple
sick so often,
because of the milk. I know it's the milk. It has to be the milk.
but you get, you get sick from virus or bacteria, right? Now, she, how much people, I can't even speak. Who is she around that she's getting all these funky germs from?
Children, her grandkids, they bring it home from school.
But they
My,
weren't
my,
sick,
my,
were they?
huh?
They weren't sick, were
They're
they?
always bringing stuff home. They're always sneezing and a little cough. And my youngest son always had sinus infections. And that was before I knew about the whole milk thing. If I'd have known back then, I'd have cut it out. Because he was always sick. And he still is. He's just always sick with sinus problems and congestion. And he'd come home from school and, he'd be coughing and sneezing and all this stuff. And I was like, not again. And then my oldest son, he would get strep throat, and he wouldn't even tell us his throat hurt until he got scarlet fever. And he
Oh
got
my
scarlet
God.
fever all the time he had strep throat.
Wow.
He would get scarlet fever because
Oh
he
my
wouldn't tell.
God.
It's like, Josh, you have to tell us that your throat hurts. Well, it didn't hurt that bad. It's like, I didn't want you to keep me home from going to school.
Yeah.
That's the one. Is he wanted to go to school. He didn't want to be at home. He likes school. $60 a week.
Just me. Why she does what she does, I don't know. It's, if you look back at her list of videos, it's I'm sick, health update, illness update, update on my shoulder. I I it, and she says that her channel and her videos are fun. How? Where's the fun? Where's the fun?
He has to, gaslight everyone
I
and say,
guess
"Oh, you're having fun, aren't you? You're having fun."
we're having fun.
If you think this is a miserable video, then that's you, because everybody else tells you they're having fun, but you're the only one that isn't. Why?
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know.
What
I
surgery, Moon?
I was unfortunate enough to have watched the video where she displayed her recliner. And I say recliner, but I'm thinking in my head how it's spelled WRECKLINER, recliner.
Recliner.
What in the, what happened to that chair?
She doesn't have cats like I do, so they couldn't have scratched it all up like mine is.
And she doesn't have dogs that lay all over the furniture like they think it's theirs,
Yeah.
looking at you.
I'm sure she just plops herself down.
Did you see the bottom of it?
She probably just goes. She goes. She
It's
goes.
like halfway
Flops herself
full.
down. Instead of taking a seat gently like you're supposed to, but she probably gets there and she probably boom plops herself down, and then she
Half
probably
of the
cranks the
footplate is ripped
recliner,
off.
and then she rips apart the handle to get her strap.
Jesus.
I'm sure that's what she has to be doing because that recliner was brand new,
Oh my
and
God.
I don't know any recliner that looks like hers in the amount of time that she's had hers.
I mean, I realize that's the only place that she has to sit, but I mean, I sit in the same spot,
Me too.
and wow. Yeah, that was, and but she doesn't want to take a secondhand recliner because she's afraid of getting bed bugs. What?
Salvation Army, they treat all of their furniture and all of their mattresses before they put them out on the floor. So you can go to Salvation Army. They have really nice furniture and they really take care of their stuff. It's not like Goodwill.
Well, the thing is, she lives way west of me. They have more stuff because we don't have a Goodwill out here,
Mm-hmm.
and our like secondhand, like we have a Salvation Army, and it's not very good.
Oh.
But like Facebook Marketplace, people are trying to sell furniture on there all the time,
Yes.
and people sell some really nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. She can get her a really nice electric recliner,
sure.
leather for hardly anything on
And
Marketplace.
there are um like furniture outlets in like Western Suffolk County. There's one road that's known for them. I think it's is it 112 or Route 112 or 110? And it's just like bam, 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 one right after another on this road.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get really, really nice furniture
Wow.
for probably half of what they charge retail, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even less. Um, so like she's making such a big deal, like she lives out in the middle of no place where there's no furniture stores. Christ almighty, she's right smack
Mm-hmm.
in a 5 or 10 mile radius from her.
Yeah.
There's tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
in five, not even 5 or 10 miles, I mean that's a big radius.
Mm-hmm.
There is so many different places to get a reclining chair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's a shortage of chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know, Denise. Don't watch that.
She threw out food. I didn't see that one, but I don't watch her videos unless just go and look at the title and.
Oh, I know, just me. People do list like free stuff. I think the free furniture that I've seen is, more like furniture that is more beat up, that people I think are trying to look for a free mover to take it out of their house.
Yes.
But I mean, recently I've seen some really nice sectionals and stuff that have been up on Marketplace, and they're in great condition.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much a decent new recliner? What, $350 maybe?
400. 400 maybe 5 if she gets like a fancy electric one.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because these ones, they're leather, they're electric, they go back, they massage, they heat.
Oh God,
Um,
I need one of those.
I never use it. My mother used to. She used to recline and take a nap, but I don't recline. So,
Yeah.
oh no, Flower Power.
What?
She lost her battle with the highway department. They're going to tear her house down.
What?
You found a new place. You have a bunch of furniture you just want to give away. Did you list it on like Marketplace or something? Yeah,
You
just me.
should just put it on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Me
Yeah, so
too.
actually there was a Pottery Barn sofa listed out here on Marketplace, just me, this week. And it was in beautiful condition. I think they were looking something like 550 for it too, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she can get herself a little love seat, that gives her more room to stretch out there or spread out. Did I say?
Or like, I guess, like the grandkids never go to, I guess nobody ever visits her or anything, because where would they even sit?
I
On the
know.
steps? Go lay down in bed?
Yeah.
To put in a bridge? Huh.
Oh, to put in a bridge.
Alice, what's the score? Does anybody know what the score on the game is?
I don't.
Anybody?
I feel about that.
I'd like to see San Francisco win, but the Chiefs are good.
The Chiefs are dead.
The Pottery Barn sofa, it looked really nice, just me. Like squishy, nice cushions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I told you this, Al. If you guys want to watch anything good, if you have Netflix, I highly recommend Griselda. Sofia Vergara plays Griselda Blanco, and she is excellent in it. Really, really good.
Oh, I'll have to put that on my list.
It's
It
really
says
good.
it says the Super Bowl 10.
Oh,
Memphis.
good. 49ers.
Oh, Denise got it.
Or is it second quarter now? Because they have 8,000 commercials and it's 8:09. Did they turn it into a Taylor Swift-a-thon? Or because she's always a big highlight at the games. Why?
People just like her.
I
And then,
guess
and
so.
then people that don't, because she's
I
got.
guess. I mean, I don't have anything against her. I just don't understand it's like she's like the female Elvis,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Oh, you like the Chiefs? I mean, they're good, Linda. Mahomes he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in history. I'm not saying they're good. I'm just so tired of seeing them. Good God. It's
Mm-hmm.
like usually you don't see football teams except the Patriots. I take that back. But I don't think they were consistently like in the Super Bowl like the Chiefs have been. Um, but I mean, good for them. I mean, I'm glad they're in love, but I I do have a problem with how the NFL kind of piggybacked onto Taylor Swift to promote themselves, I guess. And I think she likes it. She likes the attention. Oh, you live in Kansas City. Okay.
Well, yeah, she likes the attention. Who wouldn't?
But I mean, I don't want to hear her
Three.
or anybody in her camp say anything about the environment or the global warming or anything else, because that bitch is flying around on her own private jet. She flew from Tokyo all the way back here just for the Super Bowl, and she's flying back over when it's over. So I don't want to hear anything about electric vehicles or wait, as it is in New York State, you can't even get a bag with your stuff in the grocery store anymore. So um yeah. Oh, Lucille, hello.
Lucille, hi.
You know, Ruby, there's been a lot of speculation about that.
What's your pizza?
So it's going to be should be kind of interesting to see what happens. Well, Moonchild, I used to be really, really into country music, and I saw Faith Hill and Tim McGraw and one of their concerts that they did. I think it was called Soul to Soul, and Taylor Swift had just been signed, and she opened up for them. When I tell you that that girl could not carry a tune in a bag, I am not even kidding you. I mean, she was cute. I think she was 16 years old, young, pretty, skinny. Record companies love that. It's like a blank slate for them to work with. She started in country music. Um, and the record company signed her, and they kind of like just, for lack of a better word, I think groomed her. You know, she wasn't a dancer. She does not have a great voice. Um, so she writes songs. Do you know how many songwriters there are that never see the light of day? And they're really, really good. I actually dated a songwriter in Nashville, and I learned a lot about the music industry, and it is a vicious, vicious industry.
Yeah.
The one thing I will have to say about Taylor Swift that I give her a lot of credit for and I applaud her for is the whole thing that she went through with Scooter Braun when they sold the rights to her music. And she turned around and she came out of that smelling like a rose. She just re-recorded everything she had. And what they did to her was really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I give credit where credit is due, and she really rebounded from that on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So Taylor writes cute music for young people, but just me, I think she's 34 years old now. And this new album that she's putting out apparently is like a breakup album about the breakup of her with that guy in the UK, right? How long is that? Like, you're 34 years old. Isn't it time to quit writing breakup songs? I don't know.
But the people still like it, so you have to do what the people want.
I guess.
And the um, label you're with mainly tells you what to record. It's not always her choice of what she wants.
Well, I wonder if she has her own label now,
I don't know.
considering that they're
She
saying
should.
this tour is going to make her a billionaire.
She could. She could be her own label now. Because a lot of people do that when they get so successful at a certain point.
Right.
They have the money to do it, so do it.
Well, Moonchild, it's kind of like, you're an adult now. I don't know. I mean, I'm the wrong generation. I'm too old to be a huge Taylor Swift fan. But the one of the hand therapists, I'm still in hand therapy. Yep, still there. Did say that she's glad that somebody like Taylor Swift is a role model for young for young women. Because really, I mean, she has not had any scandal. Nobody's filmed her. And in this day and age, like everybody turns the phone on, nobody's filmed her, drunk, stumbling around outside clubs or, driving around getting DWIs. So, she said, I'm glad somebody like that is a role model instead of somebody like, I don't know, pick somebody.
Britney Spears.
I have to plug my light back in because Piper unplugged it.
Oh.
Because she's mad at me. She's something else, this dog. You're something else.
Oh, you're fixing yours and I'm fixing mine. Mine just, I don't know what it's doing.
Okay. There.
Oops. Don't fall over.
Don't fall. Where is this pulling? Jesus. That's funny. Oh, yep. Still in hand therapy. I just, with this whole thing with this eye condition I got diagnosed with, and then the Lyme disease, and then like this high inflammatory thing, I developed a condition after the surgery. It's a inflammatory, it's called like a Dupuytren's contraction, but it's these like cords that have developed in my hand that are pulling my fingers down. So at night I have to wear casts on my ring finger and my little finger to straighten them out because they were bent. So they're still not completely straight, but they're a lot straighter than they were. I mean, I can use my hand now. I don't have full function. The surgeon said that she didn't think that I would get full function back, but it's just like my joints are still really, really stiff. And the joints in my finger. And I think it's because the bone, like where the knuckle was, got depressed, and she had to try to lift it up, but it didn't get lifted up enough. So there's like a depression. It's hard to describe. But anyway, I developed this thing where I developed all these cords and stuff. And then there's some kind of like overgrown scar tissue. I don't know. So I think all this stuff has something to do with each other. I'll talk to the doctor tomorrow about it, but it's definitely better than it was. I'm able to write now legibly. I have difficulty trying to hold multiple items in the hand, whether I'm holding it upside down or facing down, because I don't have the strength in those two fingers. I don't know if that strength will come back or not. So I'm able to knit. I knit 3 hats. And I mean, they didn't come out shitty. They came out good. So, I can function and do stuff with my hand again. It's not like it was, but hopefully it'll get better and I'll have more dexterity as time goes on. But it takes a long time because, like when I had my knees operated on, I was in physical therapy well, with my last knee, because I had a complication with that one too. Um, but I just remember, like, after 2 months, I was pretty much ready to go. I did everything I could do. And getting stronger was just a matter of me using it. This it's not the same with your hand because you don't have any large muscle groups that can like support. So everything is tendons and ligaments. I mean, the muscles have very little to do with how your hand functions. And that's the big difference because when you can build up your muscles and you can have that accessory support, you don't have that in your hand. So, but I love my hand therapist and I mean, I've been going there since July, August, September, October, 6 months, 7 months. Um, and it's like I know all the therapists there and you end up seeing the same people because they're there on a long-term basis also. So it's like you're going in to see old friends all the time. It's funny. It's a pain in the ass because I have to drive an hour there and an hour back. But um, the actual therapy is not terrible. No, Moonchild, it's my left hand and it's my dominant hand. Moonchild, yes, I did massage the scar at first. And well, but you have to remember the total time that I was in a cast was 2 months. So I had pins after surgery. And the hand therapist is the one that started to like work on the scar because you don't want to start like massaging it too early because you don't want to stimulate the growth in the bone. Because there's nothing between like where the incision and the bone is. There's no big muscle there or anything. You're right on top of the bone. Um, so it's not that the hand heals slowly. It's just that there's like no muscle to build up. If you have, like, if you fell down and you broke your leg and you had surgery, you were in a cast. Even people that they make like these walking casts. So even when they're in a cast, they're still getting blood flow and exercise in their muscles because they're moving their leg and walking. It's totally different in the hand. And it didn't even occur to me, I guess, from the beginning that it would take so fucking long. Because I started getting really frustrated like in November and December because I couldn't straighten my fingers out. And she had thought it's called serial casting, just putting a cast on and leaving it and then getting it straighter and putting another cast on and doing that. But I said to her, I mean, I can't keep it in a cast during the day because I won't be able to do anything. So I wear it religiously every single night. So now that I'm seeing gains again and my fingers are straighter and I'm getting more of the strength back. It's better. I mean, there's a lot of shit that I did not even do last year, like in the summer and fall, because I couldn't. So, oh, you do? Well, they told me that I have arthritis in my pinky finger joint, and it's a little knobby, but it doesn't hurt. Oh, forget it. Lucille, this getting older thing. But what really surprised me is I want to find out about this whole Lyme disease thing because the the nurse from the county, when they called me, told me that other autoimmune disorders can cause false positives for Lyme also. So I don't know. I have to find out, because a couple of the other blood tests came back elevated. Their markers, like inflammatory markers for autoimmune disorders. So that has to be explored a little bit also. Why would being left-handed be extra difficult? I think we left-handed people. Well, back in my day and age, anything. I think we got discriminated against. We used to have like handwriting contests in school. When you're starting to learn how to write cursive, and number one, desks were not made for left-handed people. They were made for right-handed people. So right off the bat, there's a strike against left-handed people. And when right-handed people write, you pull the pen across the page. So that's why typically right-handed people have much neater handwriting than left-handed people. Left-handed people push the pen across the paper, so more force is required to push the pen than it is to pull the pen. That's why a lot of left-handed people, you see, write and they curl their hand over so they can drag the pen along the paper. I never did that. I always wrote upright. So I pushed the pencil or pushed the pen, but a lot of left-handed people do it so they could drag the pen along. So, but when I played sports, I always played righty. I never played lefty. All of my power and all of my strength was always in my right side, but all of my dexterity was always in my left side. So he wrote upside down. There was a guy I went to school with that wrote upside down too. He's now an interventional radiologist. Moonchild, I often wonder how much of my slowing down and lack of motivation is due to getting older, and how much is just that I'm just don't feel like doing anything. I'm not sure which is which. Who knows? Yeah, I'm both. Lucille, things got really vicious. Um, flower power. I love the Swedish culture and Danish, and I love it. I do love it.
You're Danish?
I'm not Danish, but I love that culture.
Oh, okay.
Because she said, was I interested in Swedish
Swedish.
culture at one time? At one of my friends from high school, actually, no, I was going to say she lived in Sweden. No, she didn't. She lived in Switzerland. She worked for the World Health Organization, and she lived in Switzerland for like 18 years, I think. But she's back in the
Wow.
United States, and she lives in New Mexico, I think. She gets around.
Wow.
Oh, I bet I would love your hometown, Flower Power. I want to get over there and visit, and I really like it over there.
Over where?
Like in the Sweden and Switzerland and
Oh,
Norway.
mm-hmm.
I would just like to spend time there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know, Moonchild. They do. It's because they're not paralyzed by the cold. I mean, they go out. They are so healthy
Mm-hmm.
in Norway. And is it because they eat so much fish? Is it because they take ice baths? I mean, they are so
They're
healthy.
used to this lifestyle. They grew up in it. You know, their ancestors grew up with it, so it's just in their, you know,
Yeah.
being. Just like
There's
people
a
live in
there's a
the hot
channel that I
sun.
watch, and I can't remember. I'll see a lot of these channels now, they're across platforms. So I might see it on YouTube, or I might see it on TikTok, but I'm watching the same channel on
Mm-hmm.
both platforms. And it's a woman that lives in the coldest town in the world. It's you ugh,
It's on YouTube.
yes. It's
I think I've
it's on
seen her.
YouTube. She's on all the platforms.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
trying
I've
to think. It's
seen her.
you I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the coldest town or coldest city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
um and they get the period of time in the calendar where it's dark all day, and then it's they have 24 hours of light. I mean, I don't know how people live with 24 hours of darkness and then 24 hours of daylight. That must really mess with your body.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsborg, Kansas. You live in a full-blown Swedish town. Wow.
In Kansas.
In Kansas. I think it's somewhere around Siberia, maybe. I can see that it's a weird name of a town. Um, but it's just interesting that even when it's dark for 24 hours, you still have to get up. You have to go to work, get dressed, but like there's no running water. They get water in ice blocks, and then they bring the ice blocks indoors to melt it under a fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's rough,
Yeah.
considering all our creature comforts, the heat in the house and the running water, and they have different kinds of toilets. They don't have regular toilets. So yes, it does begin with the U. That's why I'm trying to say it's like you Petsk, or you Litsk or something. But it's really interesting to to see how they live. I mean, you just do what you have to do to live. The food is insanely expensive. Um, like insanely expensive. And they get
Excuse me.
special deliveries of like meat and fresh foods that have to be kept in certain warehouses, because everything just freezes. It's so freaking cold. Oh, they live in tents? I don't know how many kids. I don't know if they no, I don't think so. I don't think they have 19 kids.
19 kids. Oh,
Rearing the sheep in winter and below zero weather. I couldn't sleep in a tent in below zero weather, I don't think. I would not be happy.
I watched this documentary of this woman named Margaret Gallagher, and she lives in a thatched cottage, and that's where she was born and raised, and still lives there. And they have no, she has no electricity, no nothing. She goes and does all the, goes to get water at the little creek. And
Wow.
I know.
It's just what you know.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday, I fell into a rabbit hole, and there is, oh, I know what it was. Somehow, um, Google Earth has started showing up on my Facebook
Yes.
feed.
Mm-hmm. Now they
And
have Google Earth.
and they posted a picture of, it just looked like a deserted island, which is actually what it is. It's the northern, anyway, it's home to a protected tribe.
Hmm.
The the island, I think, is off the coast of India, and India has protected the entire island. No one is allowed in and no one is allowed out. So in 2018, some missionary kid or something got killed because he tried to go on the island and convert them to Christianity, and they killed him. It's all over the internet. Like, you're not allowed to go there. They will kill you
Yeah.
because they are not receptive to visitors, and they have shunned. They live like that because they want to, and so India has protected them. Um, so the only way that you can, no photography is allowed, and they actually have, I guess, like military boats protecting the island to
Mm-hmm.
stop people from going in if they wanted to go in.
Who was it
Um,
that got killed there?
it was, if you look it up, it was a missionary. He was like an 18-year-old missionary or something, and he I mean, I don't know what the deal with these missionaries to find the most remote place in the world to go to try to convert them to Christianity. Um, and they're not a nice tribe. See, there used to be a show on TV. It was on like the Discovery Channel or TBS or something, called Tribal Life. And they would go to these tribes like in New Zealand and New Guinea, and it was a really interesting show to show how their societies interacted and how they, what their currency was, and it was really, really cool. But they were friendly. I mean, this tribe is not friendly. They don't really know how many are in the tribe. So Google Earth had posted, like, they're trying to see if there are actually any of these tribal people there. So they're using the satellites to see if they can see anybody. And I guess they haven't, but hi, Daniel.
Daniel, hi. No worries. Family's more important. Good to see you.
So what else, folks?
So, what else?
I look like my forehead is like halfway down my head. I have to disguise it with my glasses.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not my forehead. It's a holder for my
My
glasses.
it's my A head. Jesus.
I know. So what are you doing, Daniel? What have you been up to?
Oh, thanks, Farrah Power. You're sweet.
What did you serve for dinner? I want to know what Daniel had for dinner.
Me too. He had company for dinner. Pasta. Pasta.
He made pasta. I don't think
I
he would
thought about eating pasta
pasta.
today.
No, I cut out pasta and bread. I still have hard time stopping my, but
Dr. Pepper.
yeah.
I know. I had
But
a
I
Coke
usually
today
just
too.
drink half and then put it in the refrigerator and drink the other half the next day. Pasta, you did have pasta. Well, look at you.
With the meat sauce. Yum.
It was good. Oh, yum. Did you have some toast bread, French bread, or Italian bread with that? Hey, Victoria.
Hi, Victoria.
I'm glad you made it.
You have to do a
I
ton of
thought
dishes.
you'd be over there with all your boys, feeding them and making sure they didn't make too much noise. I'm glad you made it. I know.
Is it halftime yet?
Pasta sounds good, but I can't. I cut it out. Pasta and bread. Haven't eaten any of it in a few weeks.
See, I guess that's where I was always lucky. I can live without bread. I mean, if you have a really good French baguette with some good creamy butter, that I love. But just for like regular everyday bread, I cannot tell you the last time I ate bread. I I eat everything deconstructed. If I eat a sandwich, I'll eat like the meat and the lettuce and the tomato, um, but not on
Yeah.
bread. I'll wrap it up in a big leaf of lettuce, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't eat the. It's not that I don't
Yeah.
like it, but I don't love it. Like I like pasta, I like spaghetti,
Mm-hmm.
but I cannot tell you the last time I ate it. I don't know.
Yeah. I like it.
Actually, some company bought Rayo's. It's not Rayo's anymore. It was, but some big company bought it. Just me.
Oh. Well, like everything
Yep,
is being bought up by a few
that's right.
corporations, and they have all their different departments. They have one that deals with grocery stores, one with hospitals, one with restaurant products, and pretty soon we're just going to have three
Yep,
people in charge of everything,
yep.
which is really sad. Really,
Me
really
too. Flour
sad.
power. If I buy a loaf of bread, I take 2/3 of it and I split them. Like I bought a loaf, a small loaf of Italian bread, and I split it up into 4 slices and I put it in the freezer because it'll get moldy. I won't eat that. Oh my gosh. Oh, she's
Ginger.
so pretty.
She came to say she wants her mama's. Don't you
She's
want your
so
mama?
pretty.
Look at her pushing my face. I'm saying, oh, don't you want your mama's? And there she is pushing my face away. Get away from me. No, 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 no.
Aw.
Look, give me kisses. Give me kisses.
She's like, no, nope,
Mm-hmm. No,
nope,
just because you're on camera, you're not going to do it,
nope,
right? Mm-hmm.
nope. Yeah, Campbell's, but whatever company owns Campbell's. So it's not, Rails
Mm-hmm.
doesn't own it anymore. Same thing happened to Tate's Cookies. I mean, Kathleen King owned Tate's for God knows how long. And then
Mm-hmm.
when she took Tate's, mainstream, some investment company came in and I think bought half of it, and then she sold it completely, I think for like $500 million or something to some big company. So,
Yeah.
and that's why the cookies got so small and so thin, and they don't taste the same anymore because they're out to make money. So they're going to substitute ingredients. They're going to make them smaller.
Creamy, so smooth.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. Oh, how. I
Ooh.
could wear this forever.
Ooh. Ooh, that's so pretty.
Look at how pretty it is. This is a Lancome.
Ooh.
Lancome something because I can't see it so small. Oh Lord! I mean, I've been craving enchiladas. I was making them every week. Remember, Diane? I told you I was making. I need to make some enchiladas this week.
Yep.
I have everything in the refrigerator to make them. So, flower power. Yeah, I know. You have brand name dainty, a rice brand name dainty.
Yeah, there's a channel that I watch on TikTok, I think it is. And the guy, he has some kind of finance background. I don't know if he's an economist or whatever he is, but the vast majority of everything on the shelves in stores is owned by one or two huge corporations that are owned by huge private equity firms. Blackstone being one.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other big one?
ConAgra.
Maybe ConAgra.
Mm-hmm.
But the private equity, they own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They're taking over healthcare.
They're taking over health.
And they're doing it in front of everybody's eyes because everybody has their head in the sand. And they're doing it. It's a bad scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing it. People aren't realizing, until they question something, and then that's when they find out. And it's usually because the insurance messed up their claim and denied portion of it. That's what happened with me for the last 2 years. Is my claims not being approved for the full amount that they should have been.
The whole insurance industry has destroyed healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still doing it. The monopoly that they have in healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
how it's been allowed is beyond me, because there are specific laws prohibiting corporations from profiting from healthcare. So,
Yep.
oh yeah, the healthcare of the United States is theoretically private. And the big healthcare corporations are owned by private equity.
Yep.
Oh, good night, Linda.
Good night, Linda.
Oh, it's a nasty COVID virus.
Thank
I hope
you for
you feel
stopping
better.
by.
Yes,
but I haven't had it.
You'd have to pay for insurance. Rarely people are able to have insurance 100% paid through in their jobs anymore because it's gotten so expensive. So as an employee, you have the responsibility for a certain percentage of your health care. And then your health care comes along with co-pays, co-insurance, and deductibles.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have insurance, and it is mandatory for everyone to have insurance now. If you don't, you get penalized on your taxes. So typically in a year with private insurance, you can have to pay out anywhere between $12,000 and $20,000 or more before your insurance even kicks in.
Danielle, you can't serve, you won't live. We have a lot of homeless people and they don't have any health care and they die in the streets.
Yep. What for a citizen don't work and needs care? Well, you can't get turned away in an emergency room. It's called an EMTALA Act, Emergency Medical Treatment something Act. So if you go into the emergency room and you need care for an acute problem, you can be admitted to the hospital. It can either bankrupt you, or typically, if you don't have any resources or any assets, a social worker in the hospital will help you get onto government subsidized health care called Medicaid. I think different states have different names for it.
No, I think
so.
It's everywhere.
What's that?
It's Medicaid everywhere, unless like California and Oregon have their own thing, and it's called the California Med or something like that.
Wasn't it called
CalMed
or something?
Medi-Cal,
CalMed.
Yes. Yeah, Medi-Cal.
So it can, generally what people do is they enter into payment plans with hospitals or, physicians, whatever, and they pay them off over time because it is so insanely expensive here. You go into the hospital, $100,000, you can reach that in a couple of days. And it's really I really don't know what's going to happen, because you can guarantee, like everybody says, one payer system, one payer healthcare. Insurance companies will fight tooth and nail to prevent that from happening.
Well, that's what happened when Obama tried to do that, and they did it when Hillary tried to do that when Bill Clinton was in office, and they did it with Obama. They wouldn't let him. They had to be. It had to be turned into, you have to go through insurance to get this care that is funded, and
I mean, when it started out, they started it out with the best of intentions, I think.
Yes.
But over time, it's like a snowball rolling downhill.
Yep.
It's turned into an absolute fucking disaster.
Yep. Because they had to make changes because of this, and they had this loophole, so now they have to see how they're going to close it, and then it's just like never ending.
And what I don't understand is, I mean, I don't know what goes on the inside, or I don't know any of that, but I fail to understand how a system where one person goes into, or let's say 3 people go into the hospital for the exact same thing. Let's say 3 people go in because they need to have their gallbladder out, right? Now, one person has Medicare, one person has, I don't know, let's pick an insurance company, Blue Cross Blue Shield. And another person has, I don't know, pick another one, whatever suits your fancy, pick some insurance company. How 3 people, identical 3 people, except for their DNA makeup. Let's say they're all they're all 55 years old. Well, they can't. Okay, so 55 years old, now they all have private insurance because you can't have Medicare till you're 65. So they have 3 different private insurance. They're all 55 years old. They all have to go and have the exact same procedure. They all have the exact same medical history. Why is insurance being billed 3 different amounts for the 3 different insurance plans? Because they all negotiate these contracts with the insurance companies to be reimbursed X amount of money. Now, wouldn't it seem that there should be standard prices across the board? You go in to have your gallbladder out, and if it's a routine procedure, it's like going to a restaurant and a menu. This is how much it is. I mean, I guess it's just the free market system where you negotiate for contracts. And hey, Fundy. So, I mean, I just don't understand it. And that's how the pharmaceutical companies have been able to get away with this bullshit for so long. I was just watching something the other day about, I was watching a congressional hearing where Kennedy was fucking eviscerating a CEO from one of the big pharmaceutical companies over a drug for, I think it was Eliquis. And like how Eliquis in some other country is, let's say, $300 a month, and in the United States it's $7,400 a month. Like, what the fuck? And actually, I think it was in Canada. And he was asking, like, do you still make a profit charging $300 a month? Yes. So why are you charging $7,400 a month in the United States for the exact same medication? I mean, it defies all logical thought.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no regulation, and they can just do whatever they want. I mean, that's what happened with the prices of insulin. There is absolutely no reason on God's green earth why insulin should cost the amount that it costs. There's absolutely no reason.
Mm-hmm.
The pharmaceutical companies claim, we use all the money for research and development. Not buying it. Look at how much the C-suites are making. That's where all the money's going.
And Daniel, yes, hospitals are private company, privately owned. And some of the doctor's offices are also jumping on ship when they, the insurance or the corporation comes says, hey, come join part of our group here and you'll get this and this bonus. And then he loses all rights to his business and they're telling him what to do and how much to charge. And, but it takes
and
a lot off
they end
their
up being
plate.
they end up being employees, like so many.
Yes,
I remember
employees.
back in my day, and the boomers, physicians, you went into medicine because you wanted to practice independently.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to say 98% of physicians and mid-level providers are employees of corporate healthcare systems.
Mm-hmm.
And they are slaves to the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Oh, the puppers are good. I have one sacked out in the crate, and one sacked out on the couch, and then another one sacked out on her bed. I guess Piper decided to quit bothering me. She's in the crate. She's a panic. Well, that's the errors happen a lot in the coding, Lucille, and then you end up getting bills and they're not accurate. Um, it's a terrible system.
Yes, you have to fight it.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
You
you
know, it's, I
shouldn't
mean,
have to.
people, they are,
I used to do that for a doctor's office back in the early 90s. I would get their all their claims that were denied
hmm,
and go back and review all the
yep,
medical records and then find the right code.
yep, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, when I quit, she didn't want me to quit. She was like, "No, you have to stay. You've made me more money. You made me more money."
Yeah, but now all that's all outsourced to like doctors don't even have billing departments anymore. The you know, when you go to the doctor now, your I don't think your insurance information is on the part of the chart that they get
Mhm.
because it was considered a vessel or a vehicle for judgment. You know, if some people had a top of the line private plan and somebody else didn't have such a great plan, it could be a, you know, a way to, I don't know, judge people. And so they, I don't know if that was everywhere or if it was, but I was like, oh, okay.
Fundy, I because they just assumed um, what I look like. You know what happens when you assume.
Victoria shits in the box and mails it in. That's
Yeah.
the way to do it.
I should do that instead of the colonoscopies.
The colonoscopy is not the bad part. Colonoscopy is the easy part. It's the
Yeah,
prep that's the
the prep.
friggin',
Yeah.
oh my God.
Thank you, Fundy Coast. Yeah, the prep is horrible.
You go 10 years. Great. I'll be dead by then.
Just rather die. The doctor I was seeing before in Austin, he he did the Malox, and you mix it with anything you want to drink that's clear. And I chose apple juice, and let me tell you, that went down so much easier than that other prep mix. That big gallon that they gave you at
Yeah,
the pharmacy.
they've kind of gotten away from using that big gallon of stuff because it fucked up a lot of people's electric. It killed a lot of people actually.
Well, me, I just look at it. I'd pick up the jug without even putting water in it, and I'd already be puking.
Oh my
And I tried to drink it, and it tasted just like a sip, and
God.
and it wouldn't, I couldn't get it down.
Oh my God.
I
It
know.
made my butt raw.
It made your butt raw. Who
the
said
the
that?
key to a successful and less traumatic
I
colonoscopy
gag. I know.
prep is to kind of like cut down your solid food intake for a couple days before you do the prep. Like before you do the prep, don't go out for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner the day before.
Yeah,
Kind of
you have
like
to start
cut
days.
down your intake a little bit the day or two before. So if you have less going in here, you have less to come out the other end. Um, yeah, the big jug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ugh, can't
sedation
do
is pretty much routine here, Daniel,
Yeah, I
for a
guess I've
colonoscopy.
never been awake during that,
No.
and I'm glad I wasn't.
Yes, Flower Power. We're still here. We're on to the topic of colonoscopies. Aren't you glad you're back? Can somebody
Ooh,
tell me what the score is?
let's see here.
Z game? Because my phone and my iPad are occupied.
10-3, still.
It's still 10-3?
Yeah.
You have a non-component ileocecal valve is relatively found with. Yep. You never really know what's going on in your body until somebody goes in there with a camera. I saw actually, what the hell? Now TikTok has turned into like this big online marketplace. And I think I clicked on something the other day, and you can buy a camera that you can connect to your phone. And I thought, like, how many people are going to buy this camera and shove it up their ass just to see what they can see? I'm quite sure that people will be showing up in emergency rooms all across the country with this fucking camera attached to their phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Daniel, I'd say that's true. I'd rather have a colonoscopy than chemo too.
Oh, yeah. Daniel, you're a survivor.
Well, Daniel,
We're better than a gerbil.
it's actually it's really good. I think like plumbers use it to diagnose. They drop the camera like into drains, and you can diagnose. But I know that there will be people out there. I mean, sticking it in places that it's not supposed to go to see what they can see.
Come on.
Like they would know what they were looking at anyway. Oh, she's back.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't want me to pick her up, though. She just wants me to pet her.
It doesn't feel like something. Oh my God. No, the colonoscopy itself is fine. It's the day before that's the.
Oh, yes, it's so horrible. It's horrible.
Victoria, you would be surprised the shit that people do to their bodies. How would this feel? Well, those are the people that come into the emergency room like, well, I just, wanted to see what it felt like, but then it got away from me. Sure it did. Or the one that you usually hear is, I fell on top of a blank, and meanwhile they have a
Plunger.
long neck Budweiser, in their transverse colon, for God's sake.
Or taking a shower and land on a plunger stick.
Oops.
Uh-huh.
Nothing accidentally just goes up your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That doesn't happen. Nothing accidentally just winds up there.
Yep. He wanted his colon pierced during
No,
his.
he had his colon pierced during
Oh, he had
colonoscopy,
his
right?
colon. Okay.
Just me. That is actually a known risk of the procedure. I've seen it happen. I've seen people get colostomies after it happened. The colostomy is generally temporary, so they can allow that piece of colon to heal, and then they will put the colon back together and get rid of the colostomy when the piece of colon is healed. Hi, Kevin Daniel.
Hey, Kevin. How are you?
Oh, Victoria, you have no idea the stuff that people, no idea. No idea. If you can imagine it,
Yeah.
there are no limits.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
They get whatever they can get their hands on
Yep.
and up their butt.
Yep. Pretty much. Kevin, it's supposed to snow on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I don't know where she is. Maybe she's out watching the game with her husband and her kids or something. I don't know where she is.
Who?
Beth.
Oh no. She posted something on her Facebook.
Up to a foot? Stop it.
What?
Maybe up by you, not by me. Snow. Maybe up because I
Up
looked at
to
the
a
temperature
foot?
supposed to be like in the upper 30s, or because they're saying like snow and then mixing with rain-ish, but I guess it'll be colder up by you, so maybe you'll get more. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty, it had the sun been out today, it would have been over 60 degrees. The sun wasn't out here, but it was pretty warm. I agree, Victoria. It is totally time for spring. My neighbor across the street has a wisteria, I guess they're bushes, that she's had for a long, long, long time. And her daughter is a master gardener, and her daughter does a lot of the maintenance and upkeep in her gardens and stuff. So I've always loved wisteria, but I never bought it. It's really invasive, but it's so beautiful when it blooms.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was trimming it up in the fall, she brought me 3 seed pods,
Ooh.
and there were 4 seeds in total. I don't know, they're about, I don't know, maybe a little smaller than a dime. So I pulled the seeds out and I soaked them in warm water for like 2 days, and then I drained the water and I wrapped them in a wet paper towel and I put them in a jar on the windowsill, and I germinated the seeds. So now I had 4. Piper dumped one of the pots on the floor and I couldn't find, it was like in a really, it wasn't in an open spot. I had to like get on my hands and my knees, and I didn't feel like going through the dirt to find the seeds. So I just sucked everything up in the vacuum cleaner. So I have 3, and so the 3 have germinated and they're growing on the windowsill now. So, but I bought a whole bunch of seeds in Dollar Tree. Seeds are 4 packs for $1. So you can't beat that with a stick. And I actually bought the seeds at Dollar Tree last year and they did fine. So, I got them there this year too. Oh, great. Up to a foot.
Wow.
It's weird, Kevin, because I don't know where that front's coming from. I looked at the radar. I don't know if it's coming down from up north or if it's coming from the west. I can't tell where it's coming from. So I know the wisteria, it is gorgeous, Victoria, but it's super invasive. A friend of mine has it. She has like an arch, and she has it climbed all over the arch, and it looks so beautiful when it blooms. Oh my God. So beautiful. But you really have to keep after, like, it self seeds, and it'll go everywhere and it'll choke everything out. So you really have to keep on top of it, but it is beautiful. When it's well maintained, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the chat anymore? How are you posting if you can't see the chat? It's coming from Texas. Alice didn't even catch
You
that.
may. No, I was looking to see if the chat had stopped.
Kevin said the snow's coming from Texas.
Right. I wish.
Well, Kevin, it's only February. What's today? The 11th.
Hi, Jane Sandra.
It's still early. Hey, JSH, what's up? Now we're talking about enchiladas. This is
I'm going to make some, I think, tomorrow.
Jane Sandra is Queen Enchilada. How was that hot cheese? The was it habanero cheese that you had, Jane Sandra? Or
what?
I was like, you're gonna put that stuff on the enchiladas? I mean, I like spice, but whoo. Oh, you made enchiladas today, Flower Power? What's up, amigos? Where did Fundy Coast go? I haven't even broken out the shovel, Fundy. I mean, I probably could have one time, but I wasn't going anywhere, so to hell with it. It's hot. Oh, the cheese is hot.
Spicy hot.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, woo. Did you eat all the cheese? I've never seen cheese like that before. But admittedly though, I had to ask Alice the other day about Rotel.
Why is it called Rotel?
Why is it called Rotel, and what the hell is it? Because I don't think I've ever eaten it. I know for sure I've never used it in cooking. So I was like, what's the point? What is this? Everybody says Rotel. I actually saw another recipe today for some kind of cheese dip that used Rotel too, that you had to put a can of Rotel in. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, tomatoes with green chilies. Oh, just me. Good night.
Good night, just me.
Thanks for coming.
Chat with you tomorrow.
Now my nose is starting to get all stuffed up. Why?
I don't know.
It's 9:19. Time for bed.
Yes. It's time.
What are jalapeno bombers? Are they like poppers? Jalapeno poppers? Wings. I love wings.
She's making wings.
And jalapeno bombers.
Yeah,
I have never in my life purchased it. I've never used it, and I don't think I've ever eaten it that I know of. Good night, Fundy.
Good night, Fundy.
Oh, I bet it was busy at HEB.
I don't use Rotel, Jane Sandra, if I don't have to. It was super busy because of the football game. They went and got their beer and snacks.
Yep. Well, I'm going to go, you guys.
Yeah, me too.
We've
been on.
It's that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do this again later this week. This week. Yeah, I think so too.
All right.
We'll just keep talking about medical stuff and things like that.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right, you guys.
I hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday ending and have a great week at work or at school or just sitting around the house. And we'll see you next time. I'll
Good night,
post
everybody.
it. Good night.
Good night.